Hey, this is Kate from Izzalicious Designs. Well, we made our little pilgrim lady and man, so now we're going to start on our Native Americans. So this is going to be our little man one, and we will do him first. So what we're going to do is have a single loom in the offset configuration, so columns 1 and 3 are lower than column 2. The open part of the peg is facing towards you, or the arrow is facing towards you. We will be double banding. And the colours I'm going to use for his feathers in his headdress, I'm using the olive green, a white and some caramel. Then I'm using dark brown and skin tone. And then this is a light coffee coloured by a brand called Loom bands, which is quite nice. So that's how we're going to make him. So let's get started. We're going to start by doing the brown at the back of his head. As I said, we're going to be double banding. You take 2 bands and you place them on the pegs together as if they were one. Now for the feathers, we're going to do that at the end after we've taken him off the loom. And I actually put his braid on after as well. And take a single band and stretch it over these 3 pegs here to form a triangle, and another one here. I'm using the Rainbow Loom tan for his skin tone, so I'm going to put 2 tan here, and then I'm going to use a single tan for the end cap, so wrap it around my hook once and twice, and I'm going to pop that just here. Alright, now I'm also going to put some caramel bands up here, single band, and I'm just going to do a figure 8, just one, and place it here on this peg. I'm going to push things down because I need to put 2 on each of these. Take another, around, and the reason I do that on my hook is so that I don't bend or misshape these bands more than necessary. I don't want to stretch them out of shape, and sort of when you use your fingers you're stretching them a bit further, so I'm just doing them on the hook like this. And 2 up the top here. Like that. Alright, what we're going to do, dig down past this end cap and grab those 2 skin tone bands. Keep your finger on them so they don't fly all over the place, like that, and we will loop up. And then we're going for the top 2 brown bands, loop them to the side, loop the other 2 to their corresponding side, and we link these up, or loop these up, not link them up. 2 for the middle, 1 this side and 1 this side. And now we're going to put our face on. So again, skin tone bands. We're going to skip this first set and move down here. Try and make it so that the bands do not twist on themselves. I think it just looks a little nicer. I'm going to just put 2 from here to here. I'm going to use a single band and stretch it across here. A single band, I'm going to take it and I'm going to twist it once, twice and 3 times and place here. And then I'm going to use my beads as my eyes. Now if you don't have black beads, you can use black bands or brown bands, whatever. What you do for a band instead of a bead is put it on your hook and wrap it once, twice and 3 times. That is the equivalent of 1 bead. So you do 2 of them, and when I say that I'm threading my beads onto a single skin tone band, you thread your 2 bands that you've twisted around your hook onto the band, and it works the same way. If you are using beads, you might need to use a metal threader or some floss. It works as well. I have a tutorial, or one of my tips and tricks on how to make a metal threader from a twisty tie. So that's on my channel. So thread your beads onto your band, and we will splay that out across these 2 pegs. Make sure that you have an eye either side of this middle peg, and then you're going to put your hook through the band, split it in half, and put the top part of the band over this peg, so it sort of forms a crossover band like that. Now, one of the really important things is you have these 2 neck bands, but then you have this end cap here. You're going to take that and drag it up and over and place that on top of your neck band. It has to sit there because it's tying the back of this head, the hair, into the face. Alright, so now we will move. I'm using the light coffee for his tunic, and I'm going to be doing double banding. Push things down. Now the tricky part with this is that for this little chap's outfit, he's actually wearing the same colour pants as he is for his tunic. So let's count how many we've come down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I don't think that's right. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There we go. I thought that looked a bit odd. And then we're going to do dark brown for his boots. Like that. Let's do the same on this side. And then 2 pair of dark brown for his boots on this side as well. For the centre, we've got the centre band here, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. So we've got 3 here, and we'll do 4 and 5. Okay, so it's all the same colour. We're going to do 2 from the centre to the right, push things down, 2 from the centre to the left, push things down. I'm going to put some crossover bands on there, a single band that I'm going to stretch over these 3 pegs like that, and I'm going to do that all the way up like this. We're going to put a bit of different definition here. I've used brown bands as a little belt. Okay, so we've come down 1, 2 and 3. So 1, 2 and 3. So I'm going to put the 2 brown bands here, 1, 2 and 3, because they will flip down and sit on this peg here. So I'm going to use the dark brown. Again, I'm going to do a figure 8 on my hook, and I'm going to put 1 there, push everything down, and then I'm going to put another one here. Now these will come down to about here, so I'm going to put the third one in the middle here, because it's staggered, like that. So this one can sit halfway between these bands, whereas this one will come down a bit. Alright, need to do his arms. A single skin tone, wrap once and twice, slide onto a pair of skin tone, and then you do 4 pair of this light coffee colour. So that's 1, putting it on the end of your hook and sliding these over. 2, it's just a chain. 3, and 4, and pop that on his little shoulder here. And let's do the same for the other side. A single, wrap once and twice, and you take a pair and slide on of skin tone, and then we have 4 of the light coffee colour. 1, 2, 3, and 4. We'll pop that on the other side here. Now, at about this point, this is where his hips are, but just above his hips, I really want to have his little tunic sticking out. So I'm going to take my bands and throw them all over my desk. 2 bands, and wrap them around my hook once and twice. And I will slide onto 2 bands, like that. Even them up a bit. And I'm going to place those 2 bands, the 2 loops, there. I'm not going to attach these 2 loops, they're just going to sit there for a minute. Let's do that to the other side. 1 and 2, slide onto 2 bands and place there. So you're actually placing them 1 peg under where you have put the brown bands on this side. And that's where they're going to go. For his feet, let's take 2 brown bands, dark brown, wrap once and twice, and we will slide onto 2 dark brown. Don't reclaim just yet. Take another 2 and wrap once and twice, and now we'll reclaim, and we'll slide onto 2 brown, like that. And now we'll reclaim our bands, angle the foot, and we'll pop that on the end of the leg here. And let's do the same for the other side. 2 brown bands, wrap once and twice, slide onto 2 brown bands, 2 brown bands, wrap once and twice. Now we'll reclaim, and then we'll take these 2 and slide on like that, and the wrapped bands, and then the last 2, reclaim, angle your foot, and pop that on the other leg. Alright, now for his little buttons that I've done here, we do that after the fact. For his braid, I've done that after the fact, and I've also done the feathers in the headdress after the fact. So we're going to put a single little end cap here. So use a single band, wrap it once and twice, and we'll pop that here. And we'll start at this point. Looks like he's got 4 arms, doesn't it? We'll start at this point, dig down past that end cap, grab the 2 top bands and hold those end cap in place with a fingernail or a finger or something. Go for the next 2 and spot them on there. And then we dig down here and we can loop up and loop up. Now, At this point here for this middle one, it's really easy because all we're going to do, I actually think this is too low. I'm going to take this off and we'll put this middle one on after the fact because I think it's going to be too low for this. Alright, so we'll put it on after the fact. So let's move down to our feet here. We're going to pull the foot out, grab those 2 brown bands and loop up. Do the same on the other side. Pull the foot back, grab the 2 bands and loop up. Loop up over the groin area. Push these down. Now, at this point here, we're going to dig down, find the 2 bottom bands, loop them up. Now we're going to replace these 2 end loops on here, like that, and loop up. Now, one thing I should mention, we need to lift this off. So before I loop that up, I'm going to release that and loop up. Alright, I'll release that one too. So here again, we're going to put these little loops on to our loom. Like that. Push things down and loop up. I'm going to put my thumb here so we don't lose that band. I'm coming under these 2 and I'm going to grab these 2 dark brown bands, pull them round to the front or the back side of this peg and pull them forward like that. Twiddle this around so that it untwists. I'm going to pop my hook through those top 2 bands and lift them off to the side and move my crossover band back onto that peg and then replace that. Do the same for the other side. We go, there's the first top 2, these are the bottom 2, grab the 2 brown bands, pull them forward, take the 2 bands from the top off onto your hook, grab the crossover band, place it back, and then replace your band that you looped up. Going to link to the arms. I like to do the arms before the chest, so I never, I know that I've linked them in. I'm not forgetting them. It's awful when you take your character off the loom and the arms fall off. So my arms are linked in. Now I'm going to do from here to here. We can do his neck. Dig down and find those 2 bottom bands and loop them up. Now we're going for the top 2 skin tone, loop them to their corresponding side, and the same for the other side. Be careful at this point because you've got the end cap is skin tone as well, so it can be a bit deceiving. Link these skin tone bands up on either side. Now, here we're going to dig down, find the 2 brown bands and loop them up on either side and for the middle. And then we're going to push our hook through here, through this bottom set, grab these caramel bands and pull them forward. Okay, like that. Again, twirl them around if you need to. Let's do the same this side. Put your hook through, grab the caramel bands around to the back side of the peg and pull forward, twirl them around to even it up. The middle one is always the trickiest, I find. And pull forward like that. Then we can loop these side bits in. 1 and 2. We're going to tie off with 2 brown bands. Place your hook through, and out the side here. Put the bands on, drag them through up to the back side of this peg and reclaim. You're going to take these two up, over and off and pull tight. Alright, now we're going to take this off our loom. You've got a lot of bands on these pegs, so I use the back of a metal hook that doesn't have the cushioning on it to help me ease all these bands off so I don't break anything. When you've just got 2 or 3, it doesn't matter, you can just sort of rip them off the loom and hope for the best, but when there's more, it's sort of like okay, so let's put the loom to one side, stretch him out a little bit. So, what we're going to do, figure this one out here, there we go. What we're going to do first is hide the tie-off bands at the back of his head, so I'm going to go through the side here and grab those and pull them back. And you can hide them between the hair and the skin quite well. There we go, like that. I'm going to straighten this one out a bit. It's got a mind of its own. Sticking up like that. Come on, band. There we go, that's a little better. Okay, so for his buttons, all I did was I took a single brown band, put one end on my hook, held the other, and I tied a knot in the middle. Okay, so, and you know me with knots, I'm the world's worst knot tire. So tie a knot in the middle, like that. Don't make it too tight. Just sort of like that, and I did 3 of them. Oh, I thought I broke the band then, give me a fright. You can do this on the loom as well, if you put a figure 8 like that, and still hold the other side. So you do a figure 8, grab the other side, twist it one more time and put it over like that. Then you drag this side up there and the bottom one up there, and there we have a knot. So if you're lousy at tying knots like me, that's the other way of doing it. So remember, do a figure 8, keep hold of this end, twist it into another figure 8, and then you put it over like that. And then these figure 8s, you're going to take the first one up and over, the second one up and over, take it off your loom, and there is your knot in the middle, like that. So what we're going to do here is we're going to put his buttons down the front. So I'm going to stab him through the chest. I know, very violent of me, right here. I'm going to take one side and pull it back, and I'm going to leave the knot sticking out. Okay, I'm going to grab the other side and pull it back. So that's where the knot is going to be, and you don't need much space. With the two loops that are at the back, I'm going to put one over the other, like that. I'm going to push my hook back through the space that I just came out of and grab the next button, pull it back through, and again you can put one over the other so it's locked. Find a new spot to push through, grab the other end, pull it back so that the knot is at the front. You can move it around a bit, and again one over the other. Now for this particular one we've only got room for 2 buttons at the top here, but that's just fine. What I'm going to do, I'm going to hang on to this. I'm going to push my hook through the back side here where the belt came through. I'm going to grab a single band, pull it back. I'm holding on to the other side of my finger. I'm going to loop it through the loop that I held on for the buttons. I'm then going to push my hook through the other side where the belt finishes up and grab hold of the other side of that band and pull it through, and again I'm going to just pull it over like that. Now if I choose not to, if I want to tie it off, which I do, I'm going to take a single band and put it through both of those and tie off. Now it's probably better, I'm going to redo that, if I do that in the same colour as his tunic. So I'll take the light coffee and tie off in light coffee. I mean, yes, we've still got a mess of the brown bands at the back here where the buttons were, but I think it might look a bit better. What I'm going to do then is hide the tie-off band by going either side of his back here, like that. So there's one, and then I'll go the other side and go through a couple of bands here, pull it through, come here band, hey, like that. So that's kind of hidden at the back, and it just sort of hides where we did those buttons as well. You can just sort of discreetly hide that at the back so that all you're really seeing is the brown of the belt. Now for his braid, I'm going to take that one away. Take a single band, stretch it into a figure 8, put your hook through and wrap your hook around it once. Okay, we're going to be doing this capped, so you take a single band, figure 8, loop it on itself and slide that on, pretty it up a bit, reclaim. Now I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, so that's number 1. Two, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. At 7, what I'm going to do, I want it to go either side. There's 2 here and 2 here, but I want it to go in the middle. So what I need to do, I'm going to take this, I'm going to pinch it so I don't lose. I'm pinching the band underneath so I don't lose these bands. I'm going to go through the first 2 brown here. I'm going to reconnect these bands onto my hook. So there's the first 2 loops, and here's my second 2 loops there. So I've got my braid back on, and then I'm going to find the other 2 there, like that, so it's in the middle. I'm going to take a single band and I'm going to stretch it through these bands. So it's through the first set there. Now I need it to go through, I've got to hold on to it one side, there we go. I need it to go through those braids and here. Link it back up the top, on top of his hair. Take one over the other, like so. And then you're going to splay that open and pop his braid through and move the band to the back of his neck, like so. Okay, so that's how we do his braid. We need to do, I'm pulling his arms up and down so that they're shaped. Now for this particular one, as you can see, I've done these quite high. You can do them one lower if you prefer. I have them lower on this one. I think it looks fine either way. We need to do the feathers for his headdress. So I'm going to use, I'm going to start with the olive green. And again, I'm going to take a single band, stretch it, loop it on itself, put my hook through and do another figure 8. And it's just twisting it around 4 times. Cap it, do like that, figure 8, loop it on itself, slide on. Like that. Then we take a single white band, do the same, figure 8, loop it on itself, and then we take a caramel band. So after caramel we're going to do 1 in the dark brown. Now we need to do 2 more of these, we need 3 of these, so I'm just going to keep that on my hook, wrap the first one, 1, 2, 3, or you can do it how I did it before. Figure 8, loop it on itself, slide on. The white band, figure 8, loop it on itself, slide on. Do a caramel band. And a dark brown. And one more time. And a dark brown, like that. Now what we're going to do is take a dark brown and we're going to thread them onto the dark brown band. It's just a single dark brown like this. I was just checking we did actually use a dark brown, but I did. So we've got the 3 like that. And they need to go on here. So what I'm going to do, take one side off and hold it, don't let it go. There we are. Alright, so I'm going to go through his band here. Okay, hey, get down here. Now what I want to do is I'm going to put my hook through here. With one side I'm going to drag the dark brown back under like that, okay? And I've still got that on my hook. I'm going to take that off. Okay, now I need to do the other side. So I'm going to put this on my finger, if I can. Get here, there we go, on my finger. So the other side, now I need to hold this, because I need to go through the band here at the back for his headdress. Grab the little loop, there we are, and put back and under. So I have all of them under there. Reclaim the end. I'm going to take one over the other, so it's like a slip knot. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to hold this with my finger. I'm going to go under his headdress here. Alright, so I've poked my hook under the headdress. I'm going to grab it, I'm going to pull that band forward, I'm going to splay it open and pop that middle feather through, and that will hold that in place. And there we have our little man, or Native American. But there he is, and I'm dedicating these little guys to Brooklyn, Ebbett and Rayleigh. Take care. Bye bye.